It's Game 10 at the College World Series, and familiar SEC rivals will clash for a second time here in Omaha with their seasons on the line. In Game 4, Mark Pierce single off of Eric Dubose in the bottom of the ninth provided the winning margin for the Crimson Tide. Since then, the prolific Alabama bats have gone south. Mississippi State sweated it out against UCLA until Hank Toms blew it by the Bruins. 3 teams have left Omaha. 1 more goes tonight. It's another elimination game at the College World Series. Mississippi State and number 1 and top-seeded Alabama. Earlier today, Stanford eliminated Auburn and will now play undefeated LSU tomorrow. At the end of tonight, the field will be down to just 4 teams, with the winner of this game against 2-0 Miami on Thursday afternoon. As rivals in the SEC Western Division, these teams are meeting for the 6th time this year. The Bulldogs won 2 of 3 during the regular season, but Alabama won in the SEC tournament, and the Tide prevailed again in the first round of the College World Series. So it comes down to the Bulldogs and the Crimson Tide one last time, with the winner keeping its hopes alive and the loser going home. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Morgan. It's great to have you with us. This will be the 4th postseason game that Alabama has played without their injured star, Roberto Vez. He was their best hitter, star relief pitcher. Well, they better start forgetting about him and settle on their own business.
Well, you're right, Mike. They are number 1 team in the nation. You don't get to be number 1 counting on only one guy. They have other qualities of this ball club, but they're going to have to step up. This is the 2nd year in a row they came in here number 1 it's seeded here in the tournament, yet they were out after 3 games last year, and if someone doesn't step up tonight, they can be out again. But they do have a good enough ball club that they can make up for the loss of Oz in 1 game.
Playing out of the loser's bracket is usually very difficult on your pitching staff, but Mississippi State in relatively good shape. In fact, they had a choice of starters tonight, either the left-hander Jeremy Jackson or Keith Dilgard.
Well, it's true, and I think he decided to go with Dilgard because of what he did last year. He pitched a great game in Tuscaloosa. He gave up 3 hits in 8 innings. Even though Jackson has more wins, has a better earned run average, this guy has better control, and I think that's the key to tonight's ballgame. He wants to make sure he throws strikes. But if Dilgard gets in trouble early, Jackson will be in there right away.
All right, after tonight, we will complete baseball's Final 4 here in Omaha. The starting lineups coming your way from the College World Series in just a moment. Welcome back to the College World Series, Omaha, Nebraska. This is Game 10, an elimination game between Mississippi State and Alabama. And veteran head coach Ron Polk lives to fight another day, his 22nd season in Starkville. 888 wins there, over 1,000 for his collegiate career, including a fine stint at Georgia Southern. Here's the EA Sports starting lineup for Mississippi State. We'll lead it off with Brooks Bryan in right field. Rusty Toms, the number 2 hitter in left. First baseman Richard Lee bats third. Adam Pyatt, the cleanup hitter, down at third base. Damon Ciano, the center fielder. Brad Freeman, the shortstop. Barry Patton, the catcher. The DH Barry Weiss hits 8th. And the second baseman Travis Chapman hits 9th.
And Adam Piatt's a guy that they're going to have to count on again tonight. Piatt, he got a base hit in the ball game the other day, but he's going to have to bounce back, and maybe that 1 base hit will get him started. Sometimes the first base hit is always the toughest. Now they need a little bit more from Lee, and they'll be in good shape.
Starting pitcher is Michael Daniels, 17 starts, 17 appearances, 6 starts this year. He's 5-0 with a 5.51 ERA. Giving up more hits than innings pitched, and as you can see, not a power pitcher with only 30 strikeouts in 47 in the 3rd innings.
And he basically has a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup. He throws a variety of pitches in this change of speed. That is, he throws those 3 pitches are all he has. He doesn't throw a 4-seam fastball. He throws a 2-seamer, which has a tendency to sink more. I was surprised that he doesn't throw a 4-seamer because every once in a while you need to bring that ball up and in on the right-hander.
There's the defense, Matt Frick. We've already seen what a good arm he has around the infield. Phillips at third, Duncan at short, Joe Caruso the second baseman, Tucker at first. The left field is G.W. Keller, David Tidwell in center, and Dustin Moore, an excellent defensive player out in right field. Jim Wells, in his 3rd season at Alabama, has brought his team into the College World Series 2 consecutive years as the #1 seed. They were dispatched in 3 games a year ago. They are in danger of having the same thing happen to them again.
Stepping in for Mississippi State.
But playing without their star, Roberto Vaz, who hit 400 and turned out to be their stopper out of the bullpen.
Let's get it on, guys.
Brooks Bryan will lead it off. Fastball in there. You will not have to wait for the calls from home plate umpire Al Davis. He lets you know what they are and loud. Shot towards short. Duncan on 2 hops. 1 gone.
And that was an excellent start there by Daniels in that he threw the ball exactly where he wanted. That last pitch fastball right on the outside corner. Let's take a look at where this pitch is. Right on the outside corner. See the catcher set up out there? And that's where he gets it. If he can stay out there, he's going to be successful. As you start out on the outside edge, just move it out a little further.
Oh!
Rusty Toms, the #2 hitter. Boy, that's a great view from that camera on the umpire's mask.
You're right.
Remarkable. He sees it, he settles in with the inside shoulder on the ground to Caruso at second. 2 down quickly on ground ball outs.
And they're both have been identical pitches. Just one happened to be a left-hander, one's a right-hander, but he makes the same pitch. Sinker away, and that's that 2-seam fastball he throws that gets to the ground ball. You should be able to see the rotation. The ball is kind of sinking away. See that ball is tailing away right there. Nice pitch, and he keeps the ball down.
Richard Lee still looking for his first hit in Omaha. He is 0 for 9. The #3 hitter. He's now in at 357. Their leading home run man. Their leading RBI man, the 4th most in Mississippi State history.
Another good thing, when you're a sinker ball pitcher, as Daniel is, you like to get a lot of ground balls. You need to keep your infielders on their toes. He works quickly. I like that. Throws the ball, gets his sign. That keeps your infielders on their toes.
We've seen some guys here in Omaha this week who have not worked quickly. Ripped. Fair ball. Inside the left field line. Richard Lee has his first base hit of the College World Series, and it's a double.
Well, we talked about how difficult sometimes it is to get that first base hit. It's a breaking ball. This is not the same pattern he used against the first 2 hitters. That's a breaking ball. He gets it right in the middle of the plate, and Richard Lee rips it, and it stays fair down the left field line, and he has a double.
I'll bring up Adam Pyatt, who finally got hit off of his 0 for streak. At the end of their 2nd game, he is 1 for 7. Pyatt with that gaudy average, and he's got some power too. And they've been waiting for both of these guys to explode. Runner on 2 men out, top of the 1st for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State.
Well, he changed his pattern there with Lee, and he paid for it. Let's see if he goes back to the sinker with Adam Pyatt. Good fastball there. That's his sinking fastball. It moves in just a little bit on the right-handed hitter, and of course that means it moves away from the left-handed hitter. This one just has good velocity on it right there. Good pitch.
Pick off play at second, threw it into the runner. Fortunately, it didn't get into center field.
when you try a pickoff play like that, normally you're just trying to keep the runner close so that they'll have a shot from the outfield. But with the big hitter like Pyatt up there, they're so deep you're not going to have a shot anyway with 2 outs.
Oh!
Well, with a fastball 1-1. This is the 6th meeting for these two schools this year. Hit hard, but right after shortstop, and Duncan on the 3rd ground ball out of the evening finishes the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. At the end of a half inning, there is no score. Here is the EA Sports starting lineup for the Crimson Tide. Under Jim Wells, David Tidwell leads it off in center field. Caruso, the number 2 hitter at second base. The third baseman, Andy Phillips, will hit third. Dustin Moore in right field, the cleanup man. Robbie Tucker bats 5th and plays first. G.W. Keller, the left fielder. Then comes Matt Frick, the catcher, in 7th. Nate Duncan, the shortstop, the number 8 man. And Mark Peer, who already has a game-winning RBI here in the College World Series. The DH will bat number 9.
And tonight you have Joe Caruso hitting in the number 2 spot. That was the spot that Roberto Vaz had hit in. And Caruso had hit 3rd, but they've moved him up, and he leads the College World Series in hits with 6, and he's 6 for 9. He also leads in batting average. So he's having a good start here at Omaha. And there you get a look at the pitcher. He has a little more conventional arsenal. He has a 2-seam fastball. That's Dilgard. He has a 2-seam fastball, which sinks. Has a 4-seamer that rides up a little bit, and he throws a curveball, and he also has a changeup. They throw their changeups a little different. The other one, they has a little changeup. He has a changeup that he kind of chokes rather than throw a circle. And there you get a look at his changeup. That's not a circle change. The circle change is when you form a circle with your index finger and your thumb. He just kind of chokes his. And when you choke it, it comes out a little slower. But the key to any changeup is always the arm speed. You have to keep your arm speed the same as you do on the fastball.
The defense behind Dilgard, Patton behind the plate. Pyatt, Freeman, Chapman, and Lee are the infield. The outfielders, Rusty Toms, Damian Ciano in center, and Brooks Bryan, who makes all the plays in right. We have already seen his brilliant arm. David Tidwell will lead it off. He's had a tough series. 0 for 8 in 2 games at Omaha, still hitting .345 on the year. And Jim Wells says we are a much better team when he gets on, and if he does get on tonight, they may be playing a little bit more little ball than they had planned coming in. Runs have been hard to come by here.
And I think that's one point that we need to make. A lot of these, we talk about a lot of teams struggling.
Chopped up the middle. This will be a tough one. He gets through into center field. Tidwell leads off the Alabama half of the inning with a single that gets up the middle.
So we're going to take a look at this. This is where you should always try to hit the ball back through the middle. You see that ball sinking a little bit. But watch this, he grounded right back through the middle. And once a guy that can run hits the ball up the middle, even if they catch it, they're not going to be able to throw him out at first base.
Tidwell at first for Caruso, who has been a hitting star in the College World Series. 6 of 9 here in Omaha, has an RBI and 2 doubles. Tidwell with a green light down at first, 34, 38 steals. Caruso knocks it into left for a base hit. Back-to-back base hits off of Dilgard to start the first.
And when you get off to a good start like Caruso, your confidence just goes sky high. And it doesn't matter what they throw you or where they throw you, you seem to be able to get a base hit. And when you're swinging a bat good, they make more mistakes on you. That pitch was up a little bit.
All he's doing here is hitting 7 for 10. Now the meat of the order with Phillips. Will be followed by Moore and Frick. Phillips with power to all fields.
Ball!
Has 1 extra base hit in the College World Series, a double, 2 for 9 overall. And 366 of the season. Fastball foul back off the right side over the roof. We finally have a predominant wind, although it's not blowing that typical 10 to 15 miles an hour that gets those right-handed batters all juiced up. But that will put Rusty Toms only about 4 steps short of a warning track and left. It used to be a much bigger ballpark, and really they needed the space with that predominant wind. Could be 2. Cleaned up to Chapman. First double play.
Well, they didn't turn that as smoothly as they would like. A little hesitation on both parts. The shortstop couldn't quite get it out of his glove quick enough, and the second baseman, Chapman, the same thing. Take a look at this now. Watch, he'll fumble it just a little bit right there. See, he can't get it out. Now watch Chapman. He made it. He just stepped back, which made it seem like it took him a little longer. Let's see, steps off the bag.
This one's hit to straightaway center field by Moore. See, almost to the warning track and makes the catch. So Alabama squanders a pair of singles, and at the end of one, it's 0-0. It's 0-0 as we go to the second inning here in Omaha. Coming up at 8 tonight on ESPN. It's Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Detroit and Philadelphia. The Red Wings lead the series 1-0. You can see constant updates of the battle on Bottom Line 2, all during our game here on the Deuce. Damian Ciano leads it off here in the second. He's also had an outstanding series, 4 for 7. Nice job by the pitcher to get over and cover. Excellent defense.
That's 2 good plays. One by the second baseman to make the play, and the pitcher to get over there and give him a target. He got there quick enough that he didn't have to hit him on the run. And the one thing that he's able to do so far is get him to hit the ball on the ground. And you see, he gets there in plenty of time. That gives the second baseman a target. If you have to hit him on the move, it's a far more difficult play than it might have seemed there.
So Caruso's fine play makes it 1 down here in the second inning for Brad Freeman. And he'll put the fastball in there.
He's had 4 outs and 4 ground balls. The only time he didn't get a ground ball, he tried to get Richard Lee out with a breaking ball, and he hung it and he hit it into left field for a base hit. And it's obvious that his 2-seam fastball is his best pitch so far.
2 ground balls to short, 2 to second base. Just missed the corner with a fastball. Well, pitching is a lot like real estate. What's most important? Location, location, location.
You're right.
The 1-2 to Brad Freeman. Changeup struck him out. Pretty pitch.
Well, so far, Daniels has all of his pitches working, but it's all set up by that good sinking fastball. That gets him looking for it, and then he throws the changeup. I mean, he took a lot off of this pitch, but it wasn't straight. The bottom fell out of the changeup. Watch this. See, it's up, and all of a sudden it goes down. That's an excellent pitch. But they wouldn't chase it if it wasn't 2 strikes, if he was not getting ahead in the count. So good job of throwing strikes early.
Barry Patton with bases empty and 2 gone. Young man's a first-year starter, the catcher. So many coaches were talking about the lack of pitching coming in here, and now they're all talking about the lack of hitting, and now the pitchers have performed so well, and I think Daniel was a perfect example. Doesn't have the great record, but he's shown pinpoint control so far. And there's another ground ball. Caruso throws it out. 3 up, 3 down here in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. There is no score. Another excellent crowd on hand. The first cloudy day we've had here in Omaha since we got here last Wednesday, but very pleasant, and the clouds now starting to clear. Should be a beautiful evening here in eastern Nebraska. No, I'll pass on the cotton candy. I had one of those last night. He can have mine. Matt Frick leads it off for Alabama at the bottom of the second inning and hits it down the right field line and deep. Foul territory, gave a big run and cracked the wall, and now Bryant is shaken up. This guy plays so hard out there and has such skills.
He looked like he was under control. He looked like he saw that where the wall was. He got under control, but then just banged the wall. Watch, see, he looks at the wall, he finds it. Now he seems to be under control right there. Well, he hits it pretty hard with his tailbone. I mean, he really hits that ball pretty hard there. I thought he was under control, but nice try. That wall doesn't move. That's
Unfortunately, there's some padding on it.
No, years ago, even in the big leagues, they didn't have padding on the walls, and that was, you know, devastating. A lot of guys have been injured, outfielders who chased the ball until it dropped.
Career enders.
Yeah. Good
Right on the corner, 0-2.
Matt Frick has, you know, had a lot of success against left-handed pitching. He struggles a little bit against right-handers, but, you know, he's got some power, and that's the important thing for a catcher. I think a catcher doesn't need to hit for a high average, just be a good defensive catcher as he is. He blocks well, blocks the plate well, he throws the ball well. I mean, he's just a good catcher, and that's what you want in a catcher, defense. And anything he adds in the power department is a plus.
Well, he's already got the catcher's grand prize in this series. He has a triple. Catchers love triple. Again, hit high in the air, twisting back toward the seats.
Well, I think he learned a little bit the first time. He found out that ball will not move. Sometimes some of these big guys think they can move that wall.
Fastball hitting again toward right center. Ryan going back as a big line near the warning track and makes the catch.
Well, I'm sure he's glad that he was able to retire him anyway. He said, after all that running, at least I got a chance to retire Frick.
If Ryan wasn't loose before this, he is now. Robbie Tucker, the first baseman, stands in a 314 hitter, 145 here in Omaha. Another power guy with 20 home runs. G.W. Keller on deck also has 20. Hit the straightaway center. Sienna. The ball is carrying here tonight.
Which at this point, you have to give the edge to Daniels because he's getting the ball on the ground. And Dillgard is throwing a few pop-ups here.
And the edge the other way to Alabama because they have so many power hits.
Right.
2 out for G.W. Keller. Right back up the box, base hit. Keller now 3 for 9 in the College World Series. Sophomore from Bakersfield, California, the transfer, hitting .333 in the College World Series.
Well, this is the place I keep talking about, hitting the ball back through the middle. There's a lot of holes back through the middle, and that's one between the pitcher's legs here. It's just an excellent shot. That ball's in the middle of the plate. He hits it back through the middle. He doesn't try to pull it.
Oh!
Somebody sitting up here had a pretty darn good career doing that, didn't he?
Yeah. Hey, Frank Robinson was the first guy that told me this. He said, hit everything back through the middle. Look for the fastball, hit everything back through the middle. And if you're going back through the middle, you can still handle the breaking balls. And I always listened to him anyway, because he was older than I was. He was from California. We were both actually from Oakland, California.
And he was bigger.
And he was bigger. And Frank was a consummate tough guy. I mean, he played the game hard.
Wrapped is short. He'll get the fourth play to second base in the second inning is over. 3 hits so far for Alabama, but they haven't been able to get any use out of them. End of 2-0. Alabama leading Mississippi State, or excuse me, Alabama and Mississippi State tied going to the 3rd inning. Take a look at the dirt here at Rosenblatt Stadium. It has been a problem around home plate. This is Rice's Joseph Catney slipping coming out of the box. The last out in a heart-wrenching game for them. Then last night, Mississippi State pitcher Chris Reineke's motion dug a big hole in front of the mound. It took UCLA's Peter Zamora and then the Rosenblatt grounder to compensate. Then MSU's Damian Sino slips in the batter's box. And you might think dirt is dirt, but the composition that they brought in for the areas, it doesn't have any adhesiveness, for lack of a better term.
Well, what happens is the batter's box and the pitcher's mound should have clay mixed in, a mixture of clay mixed in with the dirt. That will give it some base and keep it from sliding. And you need it in the batter's box and you need it on the mound. And we've seen that. The one good thing here that I've noticed, though, is that the infield, I have not seen a lot of bad hops. In the first few years I used to come here, a lot of bad hops. So they've improved the infield. Now I think they just need to put some play in the batter's box and on the mound.
1-2 to Brian Weiss leading off the 3rd.
See, the infield looks smooth, as you can see, and we have just not seen any, bad hops. It's been very good infield.
The grounds crew does do a spectacular job out here. They always have. Dirt 2-2.
But you can see right there when the catcher Frick slid into that, a lot of dirt. You can hear it. You can even hear the dirt sliding around back there. Just too much dirt and not enough play in the batter's box, around home plate, and around the pitcher's mound.
2-2 to Brian Weiss. Fastball hit deep to right. Moore going back. Hit the wall and makes the catch. Larry Conley, we have found out you're an expert on a lot of things. Now it's dirt. What's up?
Mike, I have never left being a kid. I love playing in the dirt. And I went out and got some of this dirt beforehand, and it really is artificial dirt, and that's exactly what Joe's been talking about. And they used 30 tons of this last year to spread around the batter's box, the infield, and the pitcher's mound, and mixed it with some clay. Add $30,000 worth of new sod to the infield. I'd say they've got a pretty good park right here.
Popped off the right side. Tucker will give chase along with Caruso. Caruso calls him off and makes the catch. 2 gone. As if we don't have enough dirt. Now they're making artificial dirt.
Yeah, no joke.
Next they'll make artificial lint.
That was a nice play, though, by Caruso there. He had a better angle than the first baseman, Tucker, so he ran him off, which is what you're supposed to do. Now watch, you see Lee comes over. He has a better angle. When you're going straight back and looking up over your head, that can be a difficult play. But coming from the side and the angle that he was coming from, it was a very easy play for Caruso. But it's a good play to run the first baseman off.
Back to the top of the order with 2 out, nobody on for Brian, and he fouls it out of play. Brian, a much better hitter against right-handed pitching. We saw him last night against the left-hander, and he did not get too many good hacks at it. 2 for 10 overall here in Omaha. That was low, 1-1.
Al Davis may be the cleanest umpire I've ever seen. He just keeps clean. He keeps that plate spotless.
Tell you what, this guy is a hard worker. I love the way he calls a game. And pity the first hitter or the first pitcher that says something. This guy's got to stare, man. You just want to go somewhere and hide if he starts staring at you.
I tell you what, he's dusted home plate off about 15 times, and we're only in the third inning.
If you see that stare, if this doesn't work out, the Marine Corps has got an opening somewhere. Foul and out of play.
There he goes again.
Looks like Al doesn't go too long between workouts either.
No, you're right.
He can push a little iron, I think. 2-2 to Brooks Bryant. Line to left. Long enough for Keller to make the catch. G.W. Keller came on, went down and got it. Third out of the inning, 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the third, scoreless in Omaha. Sailing into the Alabama half of the third inning, scoreless here in Omaha. It's an elimination game between Mississippi State and Alabama. Chop toward third. Hyatt.
We've discussed the fact that every team that we've done, covered in the College World Series complains that they're not hitting the ball as well. They're all in a slump. But I have to think that some of this has to do with the pitching. True enough, they have big numbers during the regular season because they're hitting against all types of pitching. But when you get to Omaha, you usually have the best pitchers that as far as team pitching, overall team pitching that you're going to face during the season. And I think the pitching here has done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark and making some pretty good pitches.
It really has. Back to Tidwell, who started the game with a single. In fact, Tidwell and Caruso started it off in the first inning with back-to-back singles, but Alabama couldn't take advantage of it. The 3-4 men coming up. Tidwell brings the third baseman Hyatt rushing in with excellent speed. Not hit that well against Mississippi State. Shot. Lee does a nice job to go up the ladder and get the ball and beats him to the bag. Two gone on ground balls here in the third.
Well, let's take a look at this pitch. That pitch is up a little bit, but he's a little late on it. Almost bounces it over Lee's head. Lee has to play in because of the threat of the bunt. And he almost bounces it over his head. That actually looked like pretty good hitting there. He was going the other way. He just got too much of the top of the ball.
2 out, nobody on for Joe Caruso. On the way to get him out. Yet 7 for 10 in Omaha.
Well, they experimented that time with an off-speed pitch. They changed their delivery pattern. They threw a changeup on the first pitch. It's interesting. Most big league pitchers that I've known over the years that had good changeups did not like to start a hitter off with a changeup because they really had nothing to compare it against. You like to throw a fastball, even if you waste it, throw a fastball for a ball, then come back with a changeup. Here's another one.
Same result on both, 1 and 2 to Caruso.
Well, his delivery here, right about there, you could see him kind of change his motion a little bit.
Fastball chopped forward short. Freeman on the throw in the dirt, and Lee can't scoop it. Caruso on his way to second. A routine play for Freeman, and he threw it in the dirt.
I agree that the error goes to the shortstop, but the first baseman should have been able to pick this ball out simply because this is not a big hop. The ball was there. Now watch how close it is to the first baseman. He's supposed to catch this ball. I mean, it's not a good throw. We're not going to see how close that is. I mean, he's truthfully a good first baseman should come up with that right there. He didn't see what he did. He didn't reach out to get it. He held his glove back. If you reach out, you get that ball. but it's still there on the shortstop. He needs to make a better throw, but first baseman sometimes need to help us infielders out, you know.
So a runner in scoring position for Phillips. Grounded into a double play his first time up. Guard in the dirt, blocked by Patton.
Let's take a quick look at the first baseman, and so I can explain what I was talking about. Is where that ball is bouncing in front and he doesn't reach out. Now right here, he should reach out. See, he doesn't reach out. If you reach out, that becomes a very short hop. You know, most of your first baseman will stretch out there and get that ball.
Inside, hit him. So runners at first and second now.
Right about there, panic sets in. Yeah, when that ball gets about halfway, all of a sudden you say, well, there's no place to go. Let's try and get hit in a soft spot.
It's vapor lock.
Yeah.
The cleanup man, Dustin Moore, who has a single hit in 8 trips in the College World Series. Alabama trying to break out of a power drain. He sailed inside 2.
I think this is a smart move here by Patton, just to go out and talk to Dilgard. He knows that he should be out of the inning, but he's still out there, and all of a sudden he seems like, you know, he's lost his composure. You know, when you hit a batter and all of a sudden you almost hit the second batter here. And now he's going to call the middle infielders in. I'm not going to profess to know what this is about.
Mississippi State had played errorless baseball against Alabama this year until the throwing error on Freeman. And as Joe pointed out, probably shouldn't have had that one.
Yeah, you got to have a little help every once in a while. It's a team game.
Beauty on the corner, 1-1. Well, over the years, you have seen pitchers who really get upset about errors.
Yeah.
They think, I've done my job, and they just go crazy.
And there are a lot of those guys in the major leagues that have that same problem.
Ball in the dirt, good block by Patton.
But your good pitchers, when a guy makes a mistake behind him, he just bows his neck and he gets a little tougher. And that's what you have to do. Because it's a team game. I mean, you're going to make bad pitches and the guys are going to save you by making good plays. So you have to feel like that, you know, they make a mistake, you have to pick them up.
Another good fastball. 2-2 to Moore. Alabama threatening again. And runners aboard in every inning. Keith Dilgard gets out of trouble with a fastball. His first strikeout of the ball game. We're scoreless through 3 innings. Top of the 4th in a fast-moving game here in Omaha. Mississippi State and Alabama are scoreless, and we have a special guest, Coach Emeritus, I still believe, at Southern Cal, Rod Dedeaux, who one of the great names in college baseball. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you. I'm not too sure what that Coach Emeritus means.
It's good.
Except that he's a good old boy. We'll put him in the hole and kick a little dirt on his face.
You've been here quite a few times. You brought quite a few teams here.
Thank you. And it's such a great thrill to be here. There's no place like Omaha.
I agree with you, especially for college baseball. You know, I got to know Rod through Sparky Anderson, Mike. Sparky was my manager, of course, in the big leagues. And Sparky Anderson was Rod's bat boy at USC years and years ago.
That's right. When the famous triple play, it was a big deal. But when the next hit on the on-deck circle was George Bush, I always said, had he come to bat, he never would have found his bat because Georgie would have stolen it.
You couldn't tell that story while he was president, could you?
But you know,
Tom's lines one right up the second baseman Caruso. 1 gone. Coach, you produced so many fine players with such a great program out there. What were some of the special memories you had?
Well, coming to Omaha just itself has always been, I was one of the instigators as being on the association when it was first done. And when things were going bad at one time, tried to see about it going someplace else. But I was the strongest rooter for it never to leave Omaha.
Ground ball to third. Both pitchers doing an outstanding job so far, and Lee is thrown out 5-3.
Let me ask you one question, right? You noticed any differences in the game, here in the last, 5 to 6 years? What has been the biggest difference as far as you're concerned?
Well, without question, the liveliness put in by using the aluminum bat in its improved stages as it goes. I'm all for the aluminum bat and the lesser, smaller guys handling it. But with big, strong guys, there's too much offense in the game.
Okay. See, I know we like each other. We agree on certain things. I agree on that as far as Major League Baseball. I just think that there needs to be more, the fundamentals of the game, the way you play the game, button, hitting and running, all the things that made the game great.
That's right, and it takes a lot of the defense away, the ground balls that are hit. But I will say,
Pop foul with the right field stance.
But the NCAA Rules Committee they're smart people, and all the coaches passed unanimously, the American Baseball Coaches Association, the unanimous resolution asking that something be done about it. And the NCAA Rules Committee has acquiesced to that thought and are in the process with the manufacturers of figuring a way to make it more comparable with the wood bat. I wanted wood, but maybe the compromise is make it more comparable.
1-1 to Pyatt here in the fourth. Fastball is high. Of course, the city of Omaha, I think, has done such a brilliant job staging this event. And they're always worried because when the contract comes up for renewal, it's always a possibility it'll go somewhere else. Do you share the feelings that most of us do that it belongs here in Omaha?
So strongly, as I say, some years back, when it looked like this question, I put together a fabulous deal out of Los Angeles to be sponsored by the LA Junior Chamber that's made a big success of the other. But when Omaha and the Jack Deasons and said, hey, we want it here and this is what we'll do, I yelled the loudest, have it stay.
Fastball hit to straightaway right and deep. Moore goes back at the track at the wall, leaps. Home run. And Moore is upset with a fan. He thought he had a chance to catch the ball. He looked like there was contact with the fan as she leaped over the wall.
Well, he may have had contact, but the ball wasn't in the seat. As long as the fan doesn't reach over onto the field, it's a home run. That's the mistake that he made. He got the fastball up. Now watch, you'll see that this ball is definitely in the seat. And he did have a chance to catch it if he could have caught it. That was not. Now watch, let's take a look here. You can see that that ball is definitely a home run. That's not fan interference.
Fortunately, no Yankees-Orioles on this one. I heard enough of that last year.
Well, think about me. I was doing the game. And I must have watched that 50 times at one night trying to decipher why he caught it. You take a look here. This ball is definitely over his glove. Now, look, he gets up as high as he can. That ball is over his glove into the seats.
Well, Pyatt breaks out of a slump in a big way. He had been 1 for 8 in the College World Series, gets that home run, and gives his ball club the lead. And his 17th home.
I might comment and finish the question. It's always been my dream, and asking about Omaha to be here, that this would become the Pasadena of baseball.
I think it has. I think it's already qualified. I think it's a great place. Coach, wonderful to see you. Thanks for coming.
Real pleasure. Thank you, and to be with you, Little Joe. Oh boy, you made Sparky Anderson.
End of 3 1/2. We'll be back to the College World Series in just a moment. Reading up on the players between innings, it's 1-0 Mississippi State as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Alabama coming to bat with all that power. They hit 153 home runs coming into the College World Series, and believe it or not, they're the only team here in Omaha that hasn't had a home run yet. Dustin Moore, who has 25, leads it off. Sky high to right and deep. Brian back to the warning track. Warning track's gotten a lot of action tonight so far.
Well, if you get the ball up, big guys are putting it in the air. When you get it down, they hit some ground balls.
Dilgard so far has scattered 3 hits and stranded 4 base runners and now has a 1-0 lead. You got to hand it to Ron Polk. He's made tough decisions 2 straight nights on pitchers, and everybody assumed he'd go the other way to Jackson, but he bypassed Jackson a couple of times, and the men he picked have pitched very, very well.
My conversation with him, I get a feeling that he feels like he's going to win, and for some reason he wants Jackson ready for the next game. I mean, I just get that feeling. I don't know if that's true or not, but I get a feeling when we talk to him, when we talk about all the different pitchers on his ball club, he seems like he keeps saving him for something, for a special occasion, as they say. I don't know. But
right now, the special occasion
is today.
Yeah,
so he'll be out of here. You're right.
And if they win this one, they get another special coming up against Miami.
Yeah, and I think maybe he figures he matches up better against Miami. But looking at Dilgard, the way he's thrown the ball, is that he has the ability, to be able to stifle the opposition, and especially Alabama, because he's pitched well against them before.
Pretty good choice so far. He's got a 1-0 lead here in the 4th. 1 gone, nobody on for Robbie Tucker. Outside with the fastball, and he issues his first walk. Base runners in every inning for the Crimson Tide. G.W. Keller has been quite a story. Started as the number 8 man in the Alabama lineup. He has real power. Kept moving up. This time he's got a double play.
One of the things that they don't talk about with defense with the aluminum bat. Now what you're going to see here is the ball jumps at the shortstop, so he has to back up. Now he gives it underhand. Now watch this takeout slide. That's what they're out there arguing about. They're saying that he took him out. But having to back up is really what made it possible for the runner to get on the second baseman.
Oh, and he looked like he was out at first anyway on the replay. And Ron Polk is saying, by rule, that's illegal.
Well,
you can't have a takeout slide.
They called it on him the other night.
Yes, sir.
So he's saying, well, if you called it and hurt my team the other night, why can't you help me with it tonight?
Second base umpire Dan Mascoro.
See how he has to back up. Any time you back up, it makes it a more difficult play to turn as a double play. But right there he slides, but the only thing he does, he stays down. He didn't raise up, as we saw against the Mississippi State guy do the other day. But the second baseman comes up screaming right away. Chapman says, hey, he rolled at me. And you can't roll.
Sure looked like he had a legitimate beef on that one.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's what I guarantee you. Polk was said, hey, you called my guy out the other night for the same thing.
And the rule is in there for the protection of the shortstops and second base.
Right.
2 out, a runner on for Duncan. Duncan 0 for 1 and 3 for 8 in the College World Series. Keller looking over to his coach, see if anything's on. Foul at the plate, and that's off the foot of Duncan.
Take a look at this and watch right down off the front foot. Right on the toe, actually. Watch it hit the toe. This is a great look right here. You see it right off the bat, right onto his left toe. Left big toe. 14 years old. You're Superman anyway. Nothing hurts. See, we're not going to call it a balk. He says we haven't seen one. I mean, I don't know what kind of throw that was. But I mean, the throw, he didn't really step to first base.
Foul straight back.
We talked about watch his footwork on this play. Now, so you're supposed to step to first base, and his left foot was still pointing toward the plate. A little better there. He turned his foot a little bit more toward first base on that play.
1-2 to Duncan. He's hitting better in the series than he did during the regular season. He's hitting 255 overall.
Billy Martin of the World Series. He used to do that in the World Series.
This is to right center field. Still one pitch to run catch on the warning track again. So Duncan gives it a ride to the opposite field, but not far enough as Ciano chases it down. No runs, no hits, a man left, and 1-0 Mississippi State. The World Series on the deuce from Omaha, Nebraska, and we go to the 5th inning with Mississippi State on top of #1 seeded and top-ranked Alabama, 1-0. And after giving up 3 hits in the first 2 innings, Michael Daniel has settled down. His location has been terrific. This is Daniel's first pitching appearance since the SEC championship. On the ground towards short. And Freeman is gone. Look at our brackets as they stand right now at the top of the draw. Stanford, with a win over Auburn today, will face undefeated LSU tomorrow. That's a 7:30 start on ESPN2. And then Thursday afternoon, Miami plays the winner of this game. That's 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Foul back out of play. 0-1 to Barry Patton, who grounded out his first time up.
Oh, man.
Well, they've got her turned the wrong way. She can't see the game.
She's watching us.
Trust me, the game's more entertaining. Great eyes. This is low and outside. 2 balls and a strike to Barry Patton, who leads it off for Mississippi, or second batter for Mississippi State here in the 5th inning. Hit the straightaway center, but Tidwell with plenty of room and makes the one-hand grab. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at his swing here and watch. This reminds me of Rusty Staub. Rusty Staub used to hold his knees in. That keeps you from jumping out, getting on your front foot. And you can see that he stayed back pretty well there. But that's why you lock your knees in, so that you don't jump out on your front side too quickly.
Ryan Weiss with an 0-1 count. Daniel fouled out of play. 49 pitches for Daniel so far. Only one real bad one. That was to Pyatt, who lost it for him in right field.
And you know, the good hitters are going to hit some pitches every once in a while. I mean, if you're a good hitter, eventually you're going to hit the ball hard, whether it be a good pitch from the pitcher or he makes a mistake. So it's just going to catch up with you every once in a while. Even though you're pitching a good ball game, if you make one mistake, they'll make you pay for it.
The dirt on 0-2. Daniel sort of has that slinging motion with his arm. .6'3", 180, a junior from Cherokee, Alabama. Trying to keep his team's hopes alive. On the ground, routine play for Caruso. Throws him out. 3 up, 3 down for Mississippi State in the 5th, but the Bulldogs continue to lead 1-0. Is that that same young man from yesterday?
Probably. He loves that cotton candy. He's eating a little slower today, though. No, that's not the same one.
I was going to say, he's going to be 200 pounds by the time he's 11.
That's not the same one because his little brother's there today.
Well, if you can't enjoy cotton candy at the ball game, there's no sense coming.
I'm that way about hot dogs.
Yeah. Bottom of the 5th. Vilgard has been superb so far. 3 hits, a walk, and a strikeout. Also hit a batter, and he's facing Mark Peer, the number 9 man, here in the 5th inning for Alabama. Vilgard went to Florida Community College in Jacksonville and then moved on to Mississippi State. Breaking ball on the dirt. 2-1.
He's a Colorado Rockies fan.
Inside the bag. Peer with a base hit down the right field line. Look how quickly Brown's over there. Here comes the throw. Not in time. A double to lead off the inning for Mark Peer, who is 3 for 6 in the series.
Well, he went in, out, and let's see. This pitch here is starting toward the outside corner.
26, David Tidwell, center field.
And good hitting there by Peer. He just goes the other way with it. Made a pretty big turn at first base. That's why it was a close play at second.
Tying run at second for the top of the order, Tidwell. And let's see how Alabama chooses to play this. If they try to sacrifice to get the runner over, hit it to the right side, or just play it straight up. Tidwell squared to bunt. Both the first and the third baseman in on the grass.
Well, when you have the leadoff hitter that can run, as Tidwell can, you put a lot of pressure on the defense just squaring around to bunt. I personally don't believe that guys who can run like that should square all the way around. I think they should just try to drop it down because it gives you a chance to beat it out for a base hit. I think they need to learn to drop the ball down rather than square completely around. Square around in the 9th inning if you need to get a runner over. So here in the 5th inning, you still should be thinking, trying to score some more runs. So if he drops it down, he has a chance of beating it out. And if he doesn't beat it out, it will still get the guy to third base.
Fastball just missed low. It is 3-0. There's the old rule in baseball. If somebody wants to bunt, let him bunt.
Yeah, they want to give you an out. You make sure you take it.
Fastball is in there, 3-1.
This has always been a decision pitch as far as I'm concerned. Do you let him make him bunt again even though you're way ahead in the count? Or do you let him swing away?
Squares and takes another fastball in there.
I personally never like to let a pitcher who's thrown 3 balls in a row throw you a strike and then get out of the jam by just throwing another pitch up there. So he's gone to 3-2 now, so he'll have to swing away. yelling for Patton was yelling for Dilgard to step off because he was getting a new sign from the bench.
Here's the 3-2 to Tidwell. Fouled straight back. Almost got a souvenir back here.
That was a good swing there. He made a real good swing. That pitch was up a little bit, but he really threw his hands at the ball well.
And Van Johnson, the Mississippi State closer, is up in the 5th. There is no tomorrow for the loser. 3-2, tap foul outside of third.
Actually, this is bat with 2 strikes. Tidwell looks like a better hitter than he did appeared to be the first 2 at bats we saw.
He's a senior out of Grenada, Mississippi.
Looks like he's a better 2-strike hitter than he is early in the count. He just waits and then throws his hands at it.
Walked him. 2 walks allowed by Dilgard. Now he has runners at first and second with nobody out for the 2, 3, 4 men in the order. He's had base runners in every inning would manage to get out of trouble without a run.
And Caruso has hit very well, as we mentioned, he's in this series. 7 for 11. The question is, do you make him bunt now? Or do you try hit and run? Do you try something fast?
I like to see hot hitters hot, don't you?
Yes, let him. I like to. Because it doesn't happen all the time. When a guy's swinging the bat well, you got to ride him as long as you can, I think. But I understand, this is an elimination game, and you're down a run. You want to make sure that you give your team a chance to tie the game. But not only that, if he bunts him over, you'll have the go-ahead running scoring position as well. So an average number 2 hitter you would bunt in this situation.
Fastball in there for a strike.
Good tip.
I think what I was trying to say, I said wrong. I said you want to see hot hitters hit. Yeah. Okay.
Well, at least I understood that you said that.
You knew where I was going.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant. Caruso's showing good technique. I mean, he had the barrel of the bat out front, ready to bunt that ball, but he decided to take it.
1-1. Sometimes that pitcher will step off like that just to see if the batter will indicate he's going to bunt again. Caruso did.
Yeah. But now he looks down at third base and he's have gotten a new sign.
Squares immediately. Butts it foul. 1-2. So now he's got to swing the bat and he's in the hole.
This would be a perfect situation, I think, to get to 2-2 to go ahead and maybe try hit and run. But if you Dilgard, you want to make something happen right here. You want to try to get him to swing at something down to get the ground ball for your infield.
In the dirt. Another good block by Patton, who stopped just about everything. Seen some excellent defensive work from catchers in the series here all week. Two to Joe Caruso of Alabama. Pops up on the infield. Shortstop Freeman calls everybody off. The infield fly rule was on. There's one gone.
It's interesting that the Giants played a game this year where their infield fly against the Cubs and it turned into a triple play because the runners didn't know the rules. The ball was dropped. So the pitcher at second base, he took off at third, they tagged him out. Runner at first took off at second, they tagged him out. So it was a triple play on an infield pop-up. Well, it wasn't right, it was behind second base, but it was the infield fly rule.
To deep right center field. Seattle on the run. Way back. It's a home run. Off the second wall. Homer for Andy Phillips. Just like that, Alabama gets its first home run of the College World Series in a 3-1 lead.
Well, you see where that ball was up, and he drove it. I mean, as soon as he hit it, the ball's out of here. I mean, everyone was thinking maybe, but that ball was gone right away. And you see right here, the center field, Luciano, he just says, hey, that ball's out of here.
Foul back into play by Dustin Moore. Sometimes that opens the floodgates. When one guy does it, then everybody else starts cranking away with that power. For Phillips, his 15th home run of the year, 63 RBIs.
As often happens when someone hits a home run off you, you change your pattern. You know, he's been getting by with a good fastball now. He's gone to the changeup to the curveball.
There's a fastball hit toward right center field. Bryant can't get there off the wall. Plays it on one high. And Moore is into second with a double. So they seem to have solved Keith Dilgard here in the 5th inning.
Well, they're solving him because he's getting the ball up. I mean, he gets the ball up to Phillips, and this pitch here is up. See, again, it's the same spot that Phillips' ball was. Up, and he drives it to right field. I mean, if you get the ball up, they're going to hit you. And you see the ball being chased out there by Bryan, but he can't get there. That ball was just hit too hard. That was a line drive in the gap. There's Ron Polk going out. I think he's already made the call.
Van Johnson, the ace of the bullpen, coming on for the Bulldogs. It's 3-1 Alabama. Alabama rallying in the bottom of the 5th to take a 3-1 lead over Mississippi State. We understand that Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs has gone to the first intermission. The score tied 2-2 between Detroit and Philadelphia. So if you have clicked over to watch us, stay with us here at the College World Series. And remember that you can catch Game 3 Thursday night at 7:30 with Quest for the Cup, followed by the Flyers facing off against the Red Wings in Detroit. And if you want to stay here, of course, we'll update you on the hockey with the bottom line. So feel free to join us. New pitcher is Van Johnson. Effective side armor, 5-3, 13 saves, number 2 in the country with a 3.92 ERA. Dilgard goes 4 1/3. 6 hits, all of them earned. 3 runs, all of them earned. 2 walks and a strikeout. Also hit a batter. And he's responsible for the runner down at second. Moore. This was slipped into the hole into left. Base hit. Rusty Towns comes up throwing. Cut off, throw back to first. And it's 4-1 tie.
Van Johnson was hit hard his last 2 times out, actually, so we'll have to see how he... It's tough to hit when that guy drops down on you, but he stays right in there. Frick does, and just grounds that ball right in the hole for a base hit. Dustin Moore just comes in to score the 4th run of the ball game for Alabama. Let's take a look at this. See what you see from the pitcher here. You see how he drops sidearm, and right there he rips it into left field for a base hit.
Kept the leg in, kept the shoulder in. He just stayed on it. Robbie Tucker with a runner at first. 4 runs in the inning for Alabama. Foul straight back. Johnson gives up 3 runs against Alabama in 5 1/3 this year. So he hasn't exactly been a mystery to the Crimson Tide. left-handers get a particularly good look. Ring down to first. Lee comes up, throws to second for one. Back to first. Nice defense by the first baseman. They get a twin killing, but Alabama gets 4 in the inning and leads 4-1. Alabama leads 4-1 as we go to the top of the 6th. Let's go back to the bottom of the 5th, Joe, and that double play that ended the inning.
Well, one of the things I'm noticing, look where the second baseman is. Look how much area you're giving. Yeah, you're closer to the bag so you can make the double play, but the way to do that is to move into here, right here, and that cuts off that gap. But, I mean, look at all that room. If that ball's not hit right at the first baseman, I mean, it's a first and third situation. I think they're giving up a little bit too much to be close to the bag. And I've noticed that the entire World Series that a lot of second basemen are doing that. And remember last night, Theodora had problems getting to the bag. I think they're just playing a little too deep.
Daniel now staked to a 4-1 lead and pours a fastball into Travis Chapman, who popped out his first time up. After Chapman, we go back to the top of the order in the Mississippi State 6th.
I want to make a point there to finish that point, Mike. I was taught in the when I first got to the big leagues, you have to give up something to get something, meaning you have to give up a little range to be in position, so if that ball is hit on the ground, you get the double play.
Chapman lines it to center. Tidwell can't get there. It's a base hit for the number 9 man. It's only the 3rd base hit surrendered by Michael Daniel.
This pitch is up a little bit. Anytime they hit the ball up, he gets the ball up, they're going to hit the ball hard. When he was getting the ball down, he was getting a lot of ground balls. You get it up, and with these bats, they're going to hit a line drive someplace. They're going to maybe even hit it out of the ballpark. He has to get the ball down.
Brooks Bryan 0 for 2 last time up. Hit the ball hard, lined out to left field. Dirt ball by Frick. Frick showing what a good catcher he is in this series. Second, Caruso for the force, ducked it on to first. Double play, Alabama, 4-6-3.
That's a nice turn there by that infield, and you'll see the difference in where the second baseman Caruso is playing as compared to what we showed you last time. See where he is? This is where you're supposed to be, in this area here, just so you can get to second base. Now watch, this ball would have gone through had Chapman been playing second base. See, that ball would have been through there as we saw earlier. Nice turn, quick throw to second, back to first, double play.
2 gone quickly, bases empty for Rusty Toms.
That's the pitcher's best friend there. When they get the ground ball for you, turn it, and that's what an infield is supposed to do.
And they turned it flawlessly. Fastball hit straight back out of play. 1-1. These teams did not need scouting reports for this one. This is a half-dozen times they've met this year. They know each other intimately, competing in the same division of the Southeastern Conference.
Plus, they live close by, right?
Yeah, 90 miles
between the two schools. So
Tuscaloosa and Starkville. 2 fine programs. This one's hit straight up in the air behind the plate. Frick called off by Tucker. He'll make the catch. So the double play gets him out of the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 tie.
No runs on 1 hit. No errors.
Bottom of the 6th. Mississippi State trying to drum up some enthusiasm in the dugout. They're down 4-1. G.W. Keller leading it off in the Alabama 6th inning. Sidearm hook. And we told you about the offensive drought for Alabama. Well, they're not high cotton yet, but at least they're gaining on it. They got 4 runs in the last inning after getting 4 runs in the first 2 games.
We're going to give you a look here of how difficult it is to stay in on these sidearm and right-handed if you're a right-handed hitter.
Struck him out.
Now that's what you do a lot of. You swing a lot of bad pitches. Now take a look at this, and you'll see how difficult it is to find the ball and to stay in there. Now watch this. He hides the ball, he drops down, and now you still can't see it. You can't see the ball till it's right there, and now here's a breaking ball away. So you end up chasing a lot of bad pitches. There you see, I mean, that's what happens. That's what a guy with an unorthodox motion does. He gets you to chase a lot of pitches. Hideo Nomo, that happens to him a lot. You chase pitches because you don't pick the ball up quick enough.
And that left foot is already preceding you to the dugout.
The funny thing about sidearm, I don't think it's so much that you're afraid of the ball, but you're used to looking up top 3/4 to pick up the ball. And when you don't see it, yes, you do get scared. And I think that's the problem. It's not so much just the fear of a sidearm, but the fact that you don't see the ball quickly as you want. And I mean, I remember when they dropped down on me, it was okay if I saw the ball right away. If I didn't see it, I'm leaving too.
Breaking pitch line to left center. I was about to say, if the sidearmer throws curveballs in the outside part of the plate, he's unhittable. If he throws them over the middle, he'll get killed.
Well, that one was chasing the hitter, as they say. When you drop down, that ball will chase the hitter. Now watch this. You'll see that that ball is not. See where it starts? Right there. Now watch where it ends up. Right there on the plate. Not like the ones we saw earlier. We'll take a look from here, and you'll see that that pitch is right in the middle of the plate.
Pierre takes the strike call. Pierre doubled his last time up. And is hitting 3 for 6 here in Omaha. Not bad out of your number 9 man. Had the game-winning hit in the first game against Alabama.
The other plus for a sidearmer, you know, being a stopper or relief aid, is that the ball automatically sinks right there.
Line drive double play. Van Johnson and Mississippi State out of the inning. We finished 6th. It's 4-1 Crimson Tide. Okay.
All right.
Van Johnson with his club down 4-1. He made a nice play to end that last inning, Joe.
You're right. Now watch his fielding position after he releases the ball. He releases the ball. Now you see where he's ready to catch it. Now watch this. He lets it go, and he's in a good fielding position. He catches it and makes the double play. You see a lot of pitchers falling off to one side or the other would have never been able to catch that ball, but good fielding position there by Johnson.
3, 4, 5 men in the order for Mississippi State. They need to get something started here, down by 3 runs. Lee is 1 for 2, a double. Pyatt is on deck. He had the solo home run. Michael Daniel has been cruising along, except for that solo homer. He surrendered only 3 hits. Straight away for Lee. Down the right field line. Moore couldn't get there, and Lee opens the inning with a single.
Well, it's a pretty good pitch, except it's up a little bit. And that's why he's able to dump it down the line. You get the ball down just a little bit more. See where the pitch is? Up. And you throw that sinker up and they can fight it off. That's one of those aluminum bat base hits right there. Otherwise, he jams him and it's a pop up to the second baseman.
Pyatt, who hit his 17th homer the last time up. Lee back ahead of the throw. Haven't seen anybody picked off in a week.
Well, they don't play little ball much anymore, so they're not getting big leads. They're just getting over there and waiting for the big guys to drive them in. But that's not happening.
That's true.
The same as it was during the regular season for a lot of these hitters.
Another good block by Frick. One and 0 to Pyatt. Strike call, 1-1.
Daniels throws that pitch off the outside corner, and it just seems to tail back just enough to get the edge.
Right on the corner again, 1-2.
Let's take a look at this pitch. Now watch where it is. It's out away, out away. Then all of a sudden, watch how it leans back. It just kind of comes back just enough.
Oh! That one dips low. Daniel used to pressure games. He pitched the SEC championship game against top-ranked LSU when they were #1 and held them to 2 runs and 4 hits in 7 innings. Picked up his 5th win of the year. He's looking for his 6th tonight. A little high with a fastball.
Well, I think he overthrew that ball. He was just trying to hit the outside corner and strike him out rather than just using natural movement on his ball.
3-2 to Adam Pyatt. Richard Lee at first, nobody out in the Mississippi State 7th. Only the second 3-ball count he's gone to. Spoiled foul.
And the runner is not going, and I guess, you know, when you're down by 3, you do not want a strikeout, throw him out situation. Ron Polk. The 2 strike pitch is the one that made him chase that. He started that pitch out there and broke back. Now that pitch out there, he goes and chases it simply because he can't afford to let him throw that pitch out there and come back on him like he did. See, that ball did come back, but it was low. And Pyatt goes down. But the 2 strike pitch is the one that got him to go for that 3-2 pitch.
The second strikeout for Michael Daniel. Now he faces Ciano, who is 0 for 2 in this game, but 4 for 9 in the series. That foul. You heard the ball hit his bat twice. Had he been in fair territory, he'd have been out.
Glad you said that. I got a letter from a young lady asking what happens if the hitter hits the ball and it lines off the pitcher's leg, and as he's running to first base, the ball hits him. And the question is he out? Well, the answer is no, because the ball, the fielder had a chance to field the ball, and it hit him. The ball is probably going to be declared dead by the umpire, but yet still he's not out.
The pitcher is, but
yeah.
Low, 1-2.
I wonder how I was going to answer that question.
1-2 to Ciano. A runner at first, 1 out. Top of the 7th. Mississippi State down by 3. Slap foul outside third.
Another question from Roy Eisler, who was president of the A's years ago, asked me a question. He said, what if the left-handed hitter is hitting? He hits the ball right off the end of the bat. It pops down the third baseline, hits just past the bag fair, and then kind of spins back and goes foul on this side of the bag.
Once it's past the bag, it's a hit.
Just want to check.
All right.
All right.
Ripped up the middle, base hit. Lee is on his way to third. Ciano delivers a ringing single. Runners at first and third, one gone here in the seventh.
Well, this is going to be a pitch right out over the plate, and he just lines it right back through the middle. Just good hitting right there. You can see his head stayed down, everything stayed there. And a good effort there by Caruso, but he just can't get to it. Hustling around the third base is Lee.
If you on the Oldsmobile and your license number is 1F8968. 1F8968.
Now they're going to want to talk to Michael Daniel.
You are blocking.
Jim Wells comes to the hill.
Let's take another look at this swing here by Ciano. Now watch this. I'm going to try to stop it and show you something. Now look at his head. Right on the ball. Look at his shoulders. Everything is staying right in there. His hips in there. Everything stayed right there. He did not pull off. And that's why you line the ball back through the middle. Everything stayed square right there. Good hitting. Because that was a pretty good pitch, because he thrown him a changeup inside and he thrown him a fastball inside, and then he went away.
It's a good reason why he's hitting 500 in the College World Series, 5 for 10.
That's a good point. Probably why. Good fundamental approach to the pitch.
The line on Daniel into the seventh inning, only 74 pitches. And now Freeman, who is 0 for 2, represents the potential tying run.
Well, if you're the catcher here, you know, Matt Frick has to really push Daniels to get the ball down. You know, even motion down, do anything, but make sure that he gets the ball down so you can get the ground ball. That's what you have to do in this situation as a catcher. We talked about helping each other out. The catcher helps the pitcher out by making sure that he gives him a good pitch. Well, they want to throw a fastball in, and we'll see what happens here.
Of course, fatigue is a big enemy of keeping the ball down, but with only 74 pitches, you'd think you still have a lot of gas.
Well, but if the catcher forces you, concentrate, get the ball down, you'll usually follow that glove. Now they're going back to a fastball.
Hit toward the gap, right center. Tidwell can't get there. One run will score. Ciano will be held at third. It's a double for Freeman.
And I was just talking about get the ball down, get the ball down, and use your natural sinker. Try to get the double play. And that doesn't happen. Now watch where this pitch is. You'll be able to see this pitch is up, and he lines it the right field for a base hit. It's up and in the middle of the plate. Watch this. See where it is? Pitch is up.
6 hits in the ball game, 3 of them in this inning off of Michael Daniel. Freeman with an RBI double. It's 4-2. The tying runs at second and third. And Kingery, the ace of the Alabama staff, is up. Home plate umpire Al Davis out to check and see what's going on, and there will not be a pitching change right now. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series gets underway Friday at 8 o'clock on ESPN. The first running of the Pronto Auto Parts 400 from Fort Worth. And on the Deuce, Saturday night at 9:30, the first IRL race to run in the evening with the inaugural True Value 500 at the Texas Motor Speedway. Racing all this weekend on ESPN and ESPN2.
Well, you could see that when the catcher went back out there, that's all he was doing was stalling to give Kingery time to get a few more pitches in. And once Al Davis went out and made him break up the conference, came back in, Jim Wells goes out to take him out.
And Kingery will be making his second College World Series appearance for the nice hand for Daniel, who goes into the 7th Mississippi State rallying here in the 7th. Here is the Nike College World Series storyline. Stanford eliminated Auburn this afternoon. Alabama and Mississippi State playing in an elimination game. The Crimson Tide finally got their first home run here in Omaha. It was a big one, a 3-run shot. And Daniel leads after going 6 1/3, allows 6 hits, 3 in this inning, 1 earned run, and struck out 2. And the new pitcher making his second appearance here in Omaha, Jared Kingery, 9-1 with 3 saves, a 3.46 ERA. There are the rest of his season's numbers. He went 2 2/3 in his first appearance, gave up a run on 1 hit and struck out a man. He's facing Barry Patton, who is 0 for 2 in this game. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Down by a pair is Mississippi State. Fastball outside. Nice tight strike zone by Al Davis, the home plate umpire.
One thing to look for is to see if Kingery had enough pitches. Remember, that's why they were trying to delay to get him some more pitches in the bullpen, because he didn't get up right away. We'll see if he had enough time to get loose.
Ciano, a flyer at 3rd, Freeman at 2nd, swing and a miss by Patton.
Patton thinks he's loose.
Yeah. And I think he's right. Usually closers don't take a lot of time to get ready.
Right, and he got 8 more pitches after he got to the mound, so he was probably okay.
Downstairs, 2-1. The tying runs aboard with 1 out for Mississippi State in their half of the 7th inning. This year, Alabama has won 3, Mississippi State 2. The Bulldogs would love to even it up in what may be Ron Polk's last go-round in college baseball. He has hinted at retirement. Went low after a ball really dropped in the strike zone.
Well, that was an excellent pitch, because every other pitch has been away. And we'll take a look at this pitch. That's a changeup. You can see that it's moving down and in.
Two and 2. That'll get 1 run home. But Brad Freeman, the runner at second base, had to wait to see if Duncan, the shortstop, had a play on it, and he could only advance to 3rd. RBI single for Patton.
Well, we get the pitch up again. See, that's what's hurting the Alabama pitchers in this inning. The pitchers are up, and they're lining them in the outfield. You just need 1 ground ball here to stem the tide, but they can't do that. They're getting the ball up, and they're hitting line drive.
4-3 now with runners at 1st and 3rd. Still only 1 out for Brian Weiss. Hitless tonight, but he has 3 hits and a couple of RBIs here in Omaha.
Well, it's imperative that he gets the ball down now. He has to have the ground ball. So he's got to concentrate and get the ball down. See that he's still, Frick is looking over in the dugout to get a sign. A good concentration there to make sure you get that first pitch down. And he did get it down. Too low, in fact. But you'd rather be too low than get that ball up. If you get it up, they're going to get the ball into the outfield.
Infield set for the double play. There is a 1 out in the inning. 4 of the last 5 batters have had base hits. 2-0. Relievers have to come in and throw strikes. Usually they're in the jam when they get there, and if they walk somebody, they really pour gasoline on the fire. Strike call. Beautiful pitch outside corner at the knees. Michael Daniel icing down the shoulder. That's Roberto Vaz, the superstar who was injured in the regionals. Hit off the right side. The second for 1. just hit too slowly to turn two.
Well, they turned it about as well and as quickly as you could, but it was just, it hits us off the fist a little bit. See the ball tailing in, he gets it off the fist, hits it on the ground. Now what you'll see is that the second baseman, see that's a quick turn, they turn it quickly, but just the ball just was not hit hard enough.
4-4 in the seventh. And a runner at first now with two gone for Travis Chapman, the number 9 man in the order who singled his last time up.
Oh!
Very productive inning for Mississippi State. They put 3 runs on the board. Daniel was charged with all 4 of those runs, 3 of them earned. Too low, 2-1. Pingree, the ace of the staff, trying to close it out here in the 7th without any more damage. That one's up. Runner goes. Throw to second. Out mile. Frick with a strike to second base, and Weiss didn't have a chance. Weiss caught stealing to end the inning, but 3 big runs for Mississippi State, and they have tied it at 4. Bottom of the 7th in Omaha, Nebraska at the College World Series. Beautiful Rosenblatt Stadium. We're tied at 4. Mississippi State and Alabama in an elimination game. Crimson Tide coming up in the bottom of the 7th. And Van Johnson will see the top of the order. Tidwell, Caruso, and Phillips. Boy, would they love to get Tidwell aboard with that speed he has and his base stealing ability. Right back to Johnson. 1 gone.
Well, they were playing up the middle, and that's where he hit it. The second baseman was almost straight behind second base. But take a look at this pitch. There's this sidearm. He goes a good approach there by Tidwell. He stays in and just rips it right back through the middle. But you can see that Johnson was in good fielding position again.
Joe Caruso, who singled his first time up, his 7th hit in the College World Series, 7 for 12. Came in leading every hitter in Omaha in both base hits and batting average here in this series. Look at the defensive alignment against Caruso.
They were playing like this against Tidwell too. I'm a little. They're almost taking away the middle of the diamond. You see the second baseman almost directly behind second base.
You better not pitch him away.
Well, they're trying to cover that up with this first baseman being
fouled back out of play.
Well, he was trying to go that way because if he hits anything to the right side, I mean, it's going to be a base hit. I mean, here's the first baseman, but look at all this area over here. He can't cover all that area.
This one's popped towards shallow center. This could be a tough play. Drops for the base hit. So Caruso aboard with another base hit, his 8th of the College World Series with 1 out.
Well, when things are going good for you, that's what happens. I mean, you get pitches to hit and things fall for you. You know, a lot of times when you're in a slump, you hit line drives and they catch them. Well, he hits a little flare in the center field. And Ciano comes in quickly, but he just can't get there. And that's a base hit.
Andy Phillips, who had the big hit of the ball game, a 3-run homer his last time up in the 5th, has a chance to be the hero again with 1 out and 1 on in the Alabama 7th inning.
Well, this is interesting in the way that Ron Polk uses his second baseman.
And run back to the mound. To second for 1 on the first double play. So 2 comebackers to Van Johnson get them out of the inning. We have finished 7th at the College World Series, tied at 4. Tied at 4 as we go to the 8th, an elimination game. Mississippi State and Alabama. Earlier today, Auburn and Stanford met in another elimination game. Shortstop Jay Petchy had 3 hits in a balanced Stanford attack that produced 13 hits and 11 runs. Home runs by Luke Quacha and Jody Garrett. But the story for the Cardinals has been the nasty stuff from reliever Jeff Austin. 6 1/3 scoreless innings today, 10 1/3 for the series, all against Auburn. He's got a wicked hook. Stanford advances to face LSU 11-4. If defense wins ball games, then Mississippi State has a leg up on winning this one. 4 double plays tonight, 8 in the College World Series. And Chapman, who was up when Weiss was thrown out caught stealing, will lead it off. Chapman is 1 for 2 tonight, 2 for 4 in the series. Filled in very well for the injured Rob Hauswald. Fastball in the corner. To deep right, Moore retreats about 5 steps and makes the catch.
You know, let's take a look at the last inning. You know, we talked about how Mississippi State plays their second baseman. Look where he is. This is a double play situation. Everything on the right side is open because you have the first baseman holding the runner at first base. I mean, I guess he's figuring that they're going to bail out and pull everything. But, I mean, if anything's hit to the right side, there's no chance for anybody to field it because the first baseman's holding the runner at first and the second baseman's behind second base. It's a very unusual defense, but it's working.
In the dirt. And I know the situation wasn't right, but I tell you the play that immediately comes to my mind, if that batter can push a bunt down the first baseline, he can run all day.
Just push it anywhere. Just push it. You're right. I mean,
this one's fouled back out of play by Brooks Bryant.
Trying to, understand, I guess maybe he feels because Johnson's in there and he throws sidearm that the ball's going to run in on the right-handed hitter and he's going to pull it. I guess that's the theory.
Well, it's worked out so far.
Yeah, let's say it works.
This was tense. Came up and hit Bryant right in the stomach.
Let's take a look at this. Sinker that hits on top of the plate and then bounces up, gets him in the stomach.
Just outside 2-2. Henry came on in the 7th in relief of Michael Daniel. Ryan spoils another one back out of play. Now that looks good.
I agree.
That looks better than cotton candy. The 2-2, a breaking ball in the dirt, 3-2. One out, nobody on, the Mississippi State 8th inning. struck him out into the glove of Matt Frick.
Made a lot of noise for him to be able to hold on to it. That got a lot of the bat. Take a look here, because that gets a lot of the bat. Catches it right in the heel of his glove. And you can hear that sound. Usually when you hear a sound like that, it means he fouled a lot of the ball got the bat, and it usually doesn't go straight back.
Rusty Toms, the number 2 hitter, with 2 out and nobody on in the 8th. It's a high fastball and lines it into the right field stands. But nobody gets a souvenir. It popped off of somebody, and they want the ball.
I'm bleeding over here. I'm bleeding. The kid.
Well, that one guy was begging for the ball. He said it's for the kid. I don't think he had a kid with him, you know? He just wanted that ball. Breaking ball downstairs, 2-1. I don't see a young man with you, fella.
That's the favorite. That's the line I get most of the time from my kid. He's at home. We signed this for me. Signed this baseball for my kid.
Right back through the box, base hit. Rusty Toms gets aboard with 2 out. A look at our brackets as they stand at the top of the draw. Stanford, with a win over Auburn today, will face undefeated LSU tomorrow, the defending national champs, at 7:30 on ESPN2. And then Thursday, Miami plays the winner of this game at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Miami, the undefeated team in this bracket. Richard Lee, with a couple of base hits tonight, stands in against Kingery. Now you do anything to produce a run, don't you?
Yes, you do. And I think the pressure develops to try to score a run. Everything is in Alabama's favor because they're the home team. If they could get Mississippi State out here in the top of the 8th inning and go to the bottom of the 8th and score, I mean, they're going out for the win. They need 3 outs for the win. So a lot of pressure starting to build here when you get late in the ball game, a tie ball game.
Action in the Alabama pen. In the dirt, nice block by Frick. Well, you get a lot of glove with Frick back there. He's checking the dugout to see what they want to do. Good pitch to do something here, Joe?
Well, it's a good pitch, but they don't seem to want to do a lot. I think it's a situation where you just try to pick out a pitch and drive it in the gap.
He drives it down the right field line. Toms is on his way to third. Dustin Moore over there quickly will hold it to a single. Runners at first and third. And the bats have come alive for Mississippi State in the 7th and 8th innings.
I don't think he would have been able to score, but you're right. See, that would have been a good time to put the runner in motion. I don't think he could have scored, but he put so much pressure on the defense. Let's take a look here. Lines it down the right field line, but the runner, he takes off with the crack of the bat, but the ball is cut off down there by Moore, who makes a good play and gets the ball back in quickly. But if he's running on the play, he probably could have only gotten to 30 as well, but, you know, at least it would have put some more pressure on the defense.
Jim Wells talking it over.
I think he's discussing more the situation than taking the pitcher out. What he wants to do here is make sure that they know what he wants done in case the runner from first breaks. Because you got to know whether you're going to throw through or whether you're going to throw to third or what you're going to do. And you can't afford to have any indecisions.
Back to the 4th inning when Pyatt hit his solo home run, his 17th of the year. just got over the outstretched glove of Dustin Moore. Hyatt struck out the last time. He's 1 for 3. The lead run 90 feet away at third in the person of Rusty Toms.
I think he wants to keep Kingery in here because he's the side armor and give Hyatt another look. A different look, I should say, because the other two.
Toward third. Phillips runs on the right. Players get it. They get out of the inning. Straining runners at first and third. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 4-4. Job of creative begging. I'm not broke, but Dad is, so send money. Another crowd of over 20,000 at Rosenblatt Stadium enjoying a beautiful evening and a terrific ball game. 4-4 in an elimination game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. And a sidearm curveball from Van Johnson gets strike 1 in against Dustin Moore. The 4, 5, 6 men in the order for the Crimson Tide. Got it inside on the fist, right to the short, and Freeman boots it. Mississippi State's defense has been superb, but an error on the shortstop on a routine grounder puts a runner aboard.
Well, what you'll see here is he doesn't reach out to get the ball. Watch, he lets the ball get too close to him. Reach out and get it right there. Take another look at it. Actually, he reaches out pretty good, but he does not have, you know, he just didn't catch it in the glove, but he did start to reach out. It looked a little different the first time.
Came up a little on him.
Yeah, it might have. That's because it looked like he did extend out to get it. I thought the first time I saw it, it looked like he caught it underneath him, but he didn't. He was trying to catch the bad hop or the jump at him.
It's a break for Alabama, and Frick comes up with a runner aboard, nobody out.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where you have to bunt.
And Frick goes, and it's a hit. Jefferson throws him out as Frick dives, trying to make it close in first. Excellent sacrifice, and a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Robbie Tucker and G.W. Keller are next to hit in the order.
Well, what happens is watch Frick gets it back out in front. See where he has the barrel? Right out in front. Catches the ball. And he just tries to get to first base, but the play was made properly by Hyatt, but he does his job and gets the run over in scoring position.
Sets the table for Tucker. Boy, I really like everything I've seen from Frick in this College World Series.
You're right.
And they're going to walk Tucker. They've had 4 double plays in this game, so they're setting up a situation where they can get another one.
All right, here we go, baby.
Well, there's 2 ways of looking at this. You know, you're walking a hitter here trying to set up a double play. And the reason for that, let's go back and take a look at the bunt, which put him in this position. Now watch the third baseman. See how close he is to home plate? No one's at third base. The runner at second does slide. Now you see the shortstop start over, but the third baseman gets back. And I've seen a lot of speedy runners just keep going on a play like that, and they'll be able to get around the third if no one gets there quick enough. Let me point out, you know, when you have a situation where a runner's at second base, if you go ahead and pitch to the left-handed hitter, if you get him out, that means that's okay, and then you have to face another hitter. That means you face 2 hitters with the potential winning run on base. If you walk the hitter, as they're doing here, walk Tucker. Now, if they can get Keller to hit a ground ball, they would have only faced 1 hitter in that situation.
Exactly.
So that's why you walk him. A lot of people wonder, well, you walk him for the double play. That's not the only reason you walk him. You walk him so that you try to get out of the inning with 1 at bat rather than 2, because if you strike Tucker out, you still have to get another out. But if you can get the ground ball now, you know, you're out of the inning.
Excellent point. And besides, you've walked the left hand.
Exactly.
Ginter and Jackson were the hurlers in the Mississippi State bullpen. Jackson, who has been a potential starter the last couple of games, the left-hander. And it's up to G.W. Keller, who is 1 for 3 tonight and 3 for 11 in the series.
I'll tell you one thing, these guys are standing here on these sidearm and hit right-handers. I mean, no one's really bailing. I mean, they're staying in there and attacking the ball.
Keller with a lot of power, 20 home runs this season. Power up and down the Alabama lineup. Fastball foul off the right side out of play. 0-2 to G.W. Keller. It would be a big out to get from Mississippi State. That would mean Alabama would have to start the ninth with their 8 and 9 hitters. They could entice him at double play. Just missed on 0-2. That's a tough pitch to take, 0-2.
Yeah, but it was a good 0-2 pitch. That's what you do with an 0-2 pitch. You try to get a guy to chase something off the plate outside. And you'll see here that the ball comes back, but not enough. Just off the plate.
Appeal to first. No swing. 2-2.
Well, I'll tell you what, G.W. Keller is fearless up there. I mean, he's going out there to get that breaking ball. Look at his body. I mean, he's out there, got the entire plate covered. No chance for him to sneak that one on the outside corner.
Another appeal, but the count goes to 3-2.
If you're a catcher and you're calling the pitches, when you see a guy go out there on a curveball like that on the 2-2 pitch, really the next pitch should have been a fastball inside, because you know he's going out there looking for the breaking ball. You could get the ball in on him at that time and probably get the ground ball. I think Johnson was just trying to see if they were going to run on that play. 3-2-1 out. The 2 RBI triple, because he hung in there, and I mean, his approach, watch where he goes. I mean, he didn't bail at all. He never gives an inch on this pitcher, and he just rips it in the right center field and can't cut it off. By the time they get it back in, 2 runs are scored, and Keller's hustling around the third. Look at him. I like those little guys in here.
G.W. Keller with his 3rd triple of the year, 2 RBIs, and he has put Alabama on top 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th in an elimination game. And now they're going to rule it's a double and an error on the center fielder to allow him to go to 3rd.
Well, again, I pointed it out earlier. He was not given an inch on that, in that at bat. He stayed there and he fought, and he deserved what he got.
He did. That was a nice at bat.
Yeah, I mean, he did not flinch ever on any of those pitches.
Nate Duncan stands in, still 2-1 out. Johnson misses outside.
And of course, they're playing the infield in. You're already down 2 runs, and you only have 3 outs left in this ball game to make it up. You cannot afford to give up any more runs.
Duncan, the senior from Shreveport, Louisiana, has been hot here in Omaha. 1 for 3 tonight, 4 for 10 in the College World Series. Got a chance to give his team some breathing room here. It's a fastball on 3-0.
I think that's one pitch that they haven't used as well as they should have. I mean, everyone's looking for the ball out over the plate because the sidearmers run the breaking ball. You throw that ball back under the hands, you can usually get a strike or a ground ball.
Lined to left. Lefty Towns kicked back to play, and another run will score.
Well, that's a
situation is just what I said. You throw it under the hands. They're all looking for the breaking ball out over the plate in that situation. So what does he do? He throws the breaking ball out over the plate. Now look at this, breaking ball out over the plate after he's just thrown a fastball in under the hands. He rips it to left field for a base hit. And Toms comes in, but there's nothing he can do. You can see that ball's about 5 feet in front of him. It was really sinking fast.
Single and an RBI for Duncan, and we go to Mark Pierce. 7-4 Alabama. And go back to the beginning of the inning when shortstop Brad Freeman did not make the routine play on the ground ball, and that's what started this. Hit hard to deep right. Brian going back, looking up, let's go! The number 9 hitter, Mark Pierce, hits his second home run this year. And Roberto Vaz, forget the crutches, he's going to hobble on out. All he can do is cheerlead right now, but he must be doing a good job of it.
Well, he can hop.
Yeah, he's good at everything, isn't he? And it's 9-4. Alabama has broken it open here in the bottom of the 8th.
There's a high fastball, and he just fights this off. And I'm going to say this perfectly well. That is an aluminum bat hit, because that was not a bad pitch in that it was in. It was up, but it was in, and he just fought it off. And he got enough of it to get it over the right field wall.
What a time for your second home run of the year. And Van Johnson chased in the 8th inning. And right now it looks very bleak for Mississippi State as the Bulldogs have fallen behind by 5. They only have 1 at-bat left. Game 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs has gone to the second intermission. Detroit leading 3-2 over Philadelphia, trying to take a 2-game lead. You can catch Game 3 Thursday night at 7:30 with Quest for the Cup, followed by the Flyers facing off against the Red Wings in Detroit. Matt Ginter will be the new pitcher for Mississippi State. Van Johnson, the closer, couldn't get it done. And Alabama's bats finally exploded. They've been so quiet through 2 games. The numbers on Ginter. And he will face the top of the order in Tidwell. Ron Polk and his Bulldogs came in seeded 8th in the College World Series, and right now they are on the verge of being the 4th team eliminated. Check in with Larry Conley. Larry, you spent a lot of time over the years with Ron.
Yeah, Mike, I really have. You know, in his stints as a graduate assistant in New Mexico and Arizona, and then when he went to Miami-Dade Junior College as an assistant, my first exposure to Ron Polk was actually in the early 70s when he became the head coach at Georgia Southern. I had never met at that time a baseball coach that I thought had more promotionally oriented ideas for baseball than Ron Polk. He has always promoted this game. And while he may question some things about gender equity because of the fear that it might hurt baseball and its scholarships, he has always been very honest in the promotion of the game, and he's always been very positive about his players. And that's the one thing you can never take away from this man. I think he's been a great credit to this game.
Couldn't agree with you more. He has a zeal for college baseball, doing everything he can to protect his sport and his school and his kids. And if you've ever met Ron Polk and had a chance to talk to him, you got to come away liking the man. David Tidwell with the base hit, and the Alabama bats are ringing here in the 8th. Caruso to face Ginter. And hands down, Caruso has been the hitting star of the College World Series. Ginter is only a freshman. He's out of Winchester, Kentucky. And of course, Ron Polk has hinted that his retirement may come sooner than later. He will go on to be, if he does retire this year, a spokesman for college baseball and work to improve the game. Trying to let people know that how do you survive and build a sport with 11.7 scholarships.
It has become a difficult task, but there are so many sports, for the college kids now, and I was told this by another baseball coach, that it's just very difficult, to get any more than that. Because you have the football scholarships, you have women's sports, you just have so many people taking a cut of the pie.
Well, baseball's gotten the crumbs, I'll say that.
That's true.
In the dirt, goes and it'll go all the way to the screen. But Tidwell will stop at second. It's a stolen base for Tidwell. Roberto Vaz, who suffered that freak accident in the regional, stepped on a baseball, broke a bone in his foot and required surgery. That's why he's hobbling around with that cast.
Pick him up, Joe. Pick him up.
Foul tip, 3-2. That was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball from Ginder. Caruso, the 8th man to bat here in the 8th. Count rides at 3-2. For Tidwell, his 35th stolen base of the year. And up 9-4. I don't know how much the folks in the Mississippi State dugout appreciated him running.
I was going to mention that, but you were talking about something else. Because this has been a very well contested ball game.
Swing and miss, got him swinging. 2 gone now in the inning. Look at our brackets. The top of the draw, Stanford with a win over Auburn today. They get to play undefeated LSU tomorrow at 7:30 on ESPN2. And then Thursday, we'll be back on ESPN, and Miami playing the winner of this game right now. Looks like Alabama at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN.
The other point there, though, is this is an elimination game, and maybe you don't have enough runs.
Yeah.
You can't have enough. You have a 5-run lead, but say, well, I've seen come from behind. I've seen teams come from behind with more than a 5-run deficit.
Fastball is high. Well, it's always nonplussed me a little bit how you can play baseball so hard, try to kill a catcher or run a shortstop or a second baseman out into center field, and then get upset when somebody scores when they're ahead, or runs when they're ahead by 5 runs.
Well, not only that, the guys that hit home runs don't stop trying to hit home runs when they're 5 runs ahead. But people who steal bases, they don't want them to steal bases, and that's the truth. That's kind of been the way the game has always evolved. If you steal base, they say you're showing them up. You hit a home run, you're not showing them up. I don't understand the difference.
2-2 to Andy Phillips as Alabama has batted around here in the 8th and taken a 5-run lead, 1 step away from eliminating Mississippi State and staying alive themselves here in Omaha. Phillips had a big 3-run homer in this game. Slaps this one down to short. Green throws him out. The inning finally over, but the damage is done. 5 across for the Crimson Tide. They're up 9-4. Scott Johnson mentioned our director, part of his family there. The youngest man in the group, his son Connor, and his mom and dad, Paul and Carmen. He's got all these draws of crowd wherever he goes. Got to meet them earlier today. Last chance for Mississippi State, and hit it on the bunt right at the shortstop, Brad Freeman. Excuse me, Nate Duncan.
It's just a first pitch fastball, and he jumps all over, and he hits a bullet toward left center field, but they've got him played perfectly. And Duncan makes the catch.
One gone for Freeman. Strike call. And Kingery right now just trying to pour the ball right in there and make him hit it.
And that's what you're supposed to do with a 5-run lead. Just make him hit the ball until you get in trouble.
1-1. Al Davis and the rest of the umpiring crew has done a superb job tonight. Davis has been, this is as good a job as umpiring home as I've seen in a long time.
I agree with you. And I think the umpiring in the entire World Series, the 3 games that I've done, have been very, very good.
They've had different strike zones, but they've been very consistent.
Well, that's all you want. You just want to be consistent.
Strike call to Freeman, 2-2. Kingery trying to nail it down here in the 9th. Missed with a fastball.
When you talk about umpiring, that's all they want in the major leagues, too. They say if you're going to give Maddox that ball 8 inches off the plate, just give it to my guy, too.
That's right.
And we'll be happy.
What you noticed as a superstar, your strike zone was a little bit better on you than some other guys, wasn't it?
Not really, Mike. I just knew the strike zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just knew the strike zone.
I knew it was different somehow.
I have guys that I played against still come up to me today and said, man, you could never throw you a strike. I said, well, I mean, you were just missing.
Diving still. They can't hold the ball under safe.
Well, that was a tough play in that the pitcher was on the move. He had to find the bag as well as find the throw, from Tucker. Tucker makes a fine play, but you also have to give Freeman credit for really hustling down the line. Watch, he gets out of the box very quickly. Nice dive there by Tucker. And watch, when he starts to lead, it's going to be a close play at first base. Now he has to look at the ball, find the bag, see, and you can see him look down before he found the ball. And that's what happens a lot of times. And I agree with that call. It's a bit infield base hit.
Barry Patton comes up with 1 out and 1 on. Great thing about baseball, until that last out, there is always hope.
You're right. No time clock to shut you down.
And the shot toward the hole, base hit. Bob Prince, who used to do the Pittsburgh Pirates games and worked for ABC for a while, used to say in these situations, all we need are 3 more bloops and a blast.
Yeah. Bob Prince was special.
He was something, the gunner.
Yeah.
And with the Pirates, they sometimes got him.
Yeah, you're right. The gunner, that was his nickname.
Kingery now with 2 runners aboard after back-to-back singles. Brian Weiss, the DH. Nothing's been hit hard off of Kingery since he came on. Weiss missed that one by 1.5 feet. Doug Hurst informing the Alabama bullpen should he be needed. He's been up before, so he should be ready at any time if they want to call on him. runners aboard, 1 out for Mississippi State in the 9th inning. Outside 2-1.
That's why Yogi Berra is never over until it's over.
One more base runner, and if you're Alabama, you start to get nervous.
Exactly.
Ball 3.
And maybe it wasn't a bad idea to steal second. Try to get another run.
Frick will go out to talk to Kingery.
Well, we'll see how Ron Polk plays this, but this is a situation when I was brought up in the in the major league my first couple of years. If you're down, you can't hit a 4 or 5 run home run. You take this pitch.
Yep.
3 balls, 1 strike. You just try to get on base. But the game has changed a lot. A lot of people, even in the major leagues right now, swing 3-1 in this situation. But I think you have to take a pitch and try to do whatever you can to get the tying run to the plate.
Davis gave the hitter.
I think the hitter knew it was a strike, but he was taking all the way. He tried to bluff his way on. I think that's good.
The 3-2. Went after a high fastball. And it's up to Travis Chapman, the number 9 man.
Well, you're right. This is a high fastball up and out of the strike zone, but you're taking one, and then all of a sudden, see, that pitch is way up. You can't reach it. That's the main thing. You see his bat coming in underneath it.
Two on, 2 out. Oh! Outside to Chapman. Chapman with a single and 3 trips. The last hope for the Bulldogs to keep it alive, down by 5 runs. They would go to the top of the order, and Bryan keeps going. Strike from Kingery. Line to center. Base hit. Here comes the play at the plate. Too late. That's 9-5. Chapman keeps it alive with a single to center and RBI.
Well, he gets a fastball. Well, that one was about belt high, and he lines it in the center field. He just whistles it right in the center field. Actually, it's not a fastball. It's a changeup. And he whistles it right in the center field for a base hit.
Mississippi State refuses to go quietly. One more base runner would bring the tying run aboard, and Mark Power is the pinch runner at first. Bryan 0 for 4 tonight. Line drive hitter, good speed. That's all Jim Wells can do is go, what's happening?
Well, he's had a big lead twice.
Shot. Got him, and it's over. Alabama wins as Andy Phillips throws out Brooks Bryan. The Crimson Tide has advanced to the Final Four. Mississippi State has been eliminated, and we won't know for a while whether this is the final game or not for head coach Ron Polk. For whatever he decides to do, everyone in college baseball wishes him well. Alabama 9 runs, 13 hits. Mississippi State 5 runs on 12 hits. Kingery wins it out of the bullpen. Here are the brackets. LSU, the only undefeated team in that bracket. Miami, the undefeated team in this bracket. They will play, Miami that is, will play Alabama Thursday on ESPN. LSU and Stanford meet tomorrow on ESPN2 at 7:30. Coming up next, the ESPN News Network. Our final score, Alabama 9, Mississippi State 5. Coming up next, ESPN News Network. This is Mike Conley.